Good day everyone, Mr. Cargill here with our next AutoCAD video. Now in this video, we're going to look at how we go about completing this BMED Unit 2 past paper question. Now this is for BMED Unit 2 option B, which is building. Now the question says, soil investigation and testing revealed that the site you purchased for the construction of a major shopping complex has soil with a very low bearing capacity at the surface, while soil of adequate bearing pressure lies some distance beneath. The soil is well graded to provide for suitable drainage. The contractor suggests two options for fixing the problem. Option 1 is the more economical solution. Option 1, which is the more economical solution, is to employ suitable soil improvement techniques. Option 2 is the use of a pile foundation. Now the questions say, and we have question A for 8 marks and question B for 12 marks. A says outline 2 soil improvement methods that could be used by the contractor. Now for these soil improvement techniques, what we could use is this. We could use mechanical compaction, and we could also use soil stabilization or chemical stabilization. Now for this, it says mechanical compaction increases the density of the soil by reducing air voids, which improves its bearing capacity. For this soil improvement technique, what you're going to be doing is to compact the soil using machines such as rollers, compactors, or vibrating plates and so on. And what that does is this, as it says here, it says reduces air void. So it's going to press the soil closer together, and as you know, the more compact something is the stronger it is. The more tightly packed it is, then the more strength it will have, and then that will make it stronger and better for building on, because you can't build on soil that has low load bearing capacity, especially for a complex which is going to have a lot of loads that the soil will not be able to manage. It says here that the soil is compacted using equipment such as rollers, rammers, or vibratory compactors. It says compaction rearranges the soil particles into a denser configuration. So as I said, because the soil is more compact, then that makes it stronger. Now this is the important part here. It says this method is especially effective for well graded soils, and that is important because in our question it says that the soil is well graded to provide for suitable drainage, and then it says proper compaction also reduces future settlement under the shopping complex. So this is one method that would improve our soil. The next thing that we could do is to stabilize the soil using chemicals such as cement, lime, and bitumen, and it says that these additives bind soil particles together. Cement, as you know, in concrete, cement is like a binder. It helps to bind the fine aggregates and the coarse aggregates together, and it would do the same thing in the soil. So the small soil particles, and so the cement would help to bind them together to make them stronger. So that's what these chemicals would do. It says cement stabilization is commonly used where higher loads are expected, such as in a major shopping complex like we have here. It says here the treated soil forms a stronger, more durable base capable of supporting foundations at shallow depth. So we could use these methods to improve our soil. These two methods are by no means the only two methods that we could use, but these are some of them. Now let's look at part B of the question. Part B says, with the aid or help of well-proportioned freehand sketches, distinguish between friction and end-bearing pile foundations and state how each will achieve the desired outcome. So what you're trying to achieve here is to use piles so that you will be able to build on soil that has low load bearing capacity. So how does this work? So let me show you. So now for the pile foundations, for the end bearing pile foundation, what you would do is you would drive your pile all the way down into the ground, and then it would reach bedrock, and then the bedrock would support it. So the piles can be made from concrete, metal, or sometimes they may be wooden. So even if the soil itself isn't sturdy, when you drive your pile into the ground and it reaches bedrock, then that would be able to support the piles. Then you can build your structure on the piles. Now the way the friction pile foundation works is like this. When you drive your pile into the ground, instead of going all the way down to meet bedrock, it just goes deep enough into the soil where the soil around it can support it with friction to prevent it from sinking, and then you can build your structure on that. So if this was my pile, and if I was to drive this into the ground, just barely drive it in the ground like that, that wouldn't be sturdy. It would collapse just like that. You couldn't build anything on that. However, if I was to drive my pile all the way down into the ground, like way down in the ground, it becomes more sturdy, and then friction around the pile from the dirt, from the soil, would be able to support the pile. Then you can build on it. So this would be driven all the way down into the ground with a little piece left for you to then build on. So that's the way how the piles work. Now this image right here, I know it's not really clear, but this says end bearing pile and this says friction pile. This is the weak soil and this is strong soil or rock. So this is how the piles work. So this soil is weak. So because it is weak, you cannot build on this soil, especially something as large as a shopping complex. So you drive your piles. If it's an end bearing pile, that would go straight down into the ground right here where it reaches the rock or stronger soil, and you would have a number of these laid out right across your site where the building is going to be. So now when you construct your building, you can build on these piles, so you're not building directly on the weak soil, and then the piles will now transfer the loads from the building down to the stronger soils that can manage the load. For the friction pile, the way it works is it doesn't go all the way down to bedrock or to stronger soil. Instead, what happens is that goes so deep and so far into the soil that there's so much friction from the soil around it that it stabilizes it, and now it makes it compact and strong enough for you to then build on. So these are two ways of using piles. The benefits of using the end bearing pile is that it goes all the way to bedrock, so it might have some more strength than using a friction pile. But the benefit of using a friction pile is that you don't need to go all the way down to stronger soil or down to rock, so you can use less material. So the friction pile would be less expensive, and it does work well. Now the question did say with the help of well-proportioned freehand sketches, you should explain the difference between the two. So what you would essentially do is to draw back what I just showed you in the image. Now for this question in the exam, this is a question that you might sketch on the paper. There might be the space for you to sketch on the paper, but I'm just going to draw it in AutoCAD here to show you what it would look like. All right, so in AutoCAD, you actually have a sketch command. So you could type sketch, and then, you know, I could sketch the piles like this, and so on, but I'm just going to draw them. So I can use a line here like this, and I can just draw this down. Let me just turn on ortho, draw this down here, come across like this, come back up here like that, and this, and then I can actually just copy these two lines here, and then I can just copy this here like this, bring it across. So one of these will be the end bearing pile, the next one will be the friction pile. So the friction pile is over here, so I'm just going to make it a little bit shorter since it doesn't go all the way down. Now again, in an exam you might be doing this on paper, not in AutoCAD like I'm doing it. I will come here, and let's say this is the ground. Actually, I won't use a line. Let me use a spline to represent where the ground would be. So let's say this is the ground here. I'm gonna just turn off ortho for a minute. All right, so this is the ground. All right, so this is the ground here. Good, press enter. Then now I can select spline again. Now I can just press space bar to give me the previous command and use my spline again on this side. Just like that. So let's say that's the earth. Enter. I could either draw next part over there, or I can just do this and just copy this from here and bring it over there. All right, so now down here we're going to have the end bearing soil. So what we can do here is this. I'm actually just going to draw a line like this. I'm just turning on ortho. I'm going to draw a line like this, and then I'll just draw a line on this side as well, like that. Now what I'll do from here is I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw a line. No, this is a sketch, so these aren't, I'm not using like any specific measurements or anything. So I'll draw a next line on this side like that. The reason I drew that line is to do this. I can go to hatch, and then in my hatch I can select earth. So just scroll down, you'll see earth. So this is earth right here. So this represents soil. So I'll just click in here. I'll also click over here. Now, as you can see, that looks solid, and that's not what I want, but that's because of my hatch scale. So I'm going to change my hatch scale. I'm just going to double click on my hatch. And currently the hatch scale is set to 1. I don't want it to be 1. So I'm going to change it to, let's just try 10. I'm just trying to troubleshoot and see what works. Alright, 10 is better, but I think 20 will work best. So let's make it twice as big. Let's make it 20. Alright, there we have that. So that represents the earth. Alright, so now down here, this is never going to be like a straight line like this. So I probably should have used a spline or so, or just have a line going up and down or so. Because when you hit like bedrock or, you know, solid dirt, it's not going to be a straight line like this. But let's continue regardless. So now down here, we're going to have rock. So what I'll do is this. I'll just draw a line down, no specific length, bring it across to over here and then come back up like this. There we go. And then I'm going to use my hatch scale. I'm going to come back to my hatch. And then I'm going to change my hatch now. And I'm going to change it to stone because let's say we have hit dirt. So you can scroll all the way down and you can use like gravel or so. And I can hatch this now. And just like we did for the earth, we're going to change the scale for this. So the scale is set to 1. Let's do the same scale. Let's do 20. Alright, and there we go. So have that. Now what we can do is to delete this and delete this. The reason we're deleting these is because it continues down and across. It doesn't just stop here. So this is just a portion of it. So that's how we did that. And we can also delete these 2 lines here. We'll just use them to get somewhere to hatch. Alright, so then now you put in all the information. You would label this as your friction pile, label this as your end bearing pile, label this as your, your weaker soil. And then you can label this as like solid soil or so on. So that's how you'd go about doing that. That's how you'd go about answering the question. And of course, you can explain the difference between using the 2 like I did and so on. And you should get your full marks for that. So thank you for watching and have yourselves a fantastic day.